I didn't sit. I didn't speak. I simply stepped into my mother-in-law's house, still carrying the lingering scent of wet soil from the graveyard. The living room quieted for a fraction of a second, then she let out a scoff, leaning back in her chair like she owned the place. "Don't get too comfortable," she said, her voice dripping with the authority she had spent decades manufacturing. "This house isn't yours." I let the silence stretch, a thin, heavy line between us. Then I placed the envelope on the coffee table. "Your son wanted you to see this first," I said softly. Their smirks faltered ever so slightly. That twitch was the first crack. I met Nathan on a rainy evening that seemed late to the world. He was laughing with his friends by the curb, soaked, carefree, and his energy was infectious. He offered me a hand when my umbrella collapsed. "Let me," he said, voice calm, warm, unshakable. That night, I believed stability was safety. We married quickly, a quiet ceremony far from the glare of judgment. His first wife had left long ago. Everyone whispered that I was just a replacement. They didn't understand that he held my hand through every insult, every whisper, promising loyalty and honesty. The signs started subtle. A sweater missing, the faint scent of someone else on his coat, late nights with vague excuses. Phones turned off suddenly. Messages deleted. Small betrayals stacked like bricks. I didn't notice until one night, I saw the foundation cracking. I knew his phone password. I had memorized it years ago, in the casual trust of our early relationship. When I unlocked it, the messages revealed everything. His ex-wife. The woman his mother had preferred all along. "Once she's gone, we rebuild the family," one message read. Gone. As if I were a stain on their perfect plan. I didn't confront him. I didn't cry. I didn't let my pulse rise. Clarity is colder than anger, sharper than revenge. I observed. I memorized. I gathered every thread of proof, emails, screenshots, voice notes. I traced bank accounts, insurance policies, business shares. Everything he had protected from me, without his family ever knowing, became my shield. Then the inevitable happened. Nathan's health began failing. Long nights of chest pains he ignored, doctor visits he skipped. One morning he didn't wake. Natural causes. No foul play. The betrayal had ended. My revenge began. At the funeral, I kept my face still. They mistook it for weakness. That was their first mistake. The house he had maintained legally remained under both our names. The car registrations, the joint investments, the life insurance, all legally mine. I called the family lawyer. "Whenever you're ready," he had said. I was ready. Back in the living room, I handed her the first envelope. She ripped it open, expecting cash or chaos. Instead, she found his handwriting, deliberate, precise. The first lines confessed past mistakes, acknowledged guilt, and offered apologies. He had protected me, even when they didn't want him to. I handed the second envelope. Notarized property transfers, business shares, and legal notices granting them 30 days to vacate the house. SMIRKS vanished. Her ex-wife whispered, "You planned this?" "No," I said. "He did. I just followed the path he left." Voices clashed, arrogance crumbling, loyalty dissipating. She tried to regain control, tried to manipulate the situation with gasps and tears. But every action had been anticipated. I stepped back and let the law, the papers, and his foresight speak for themselves. I left the house with a lightness I hadn't felt in months. The sun touched my face, a quiet witness to my freedom. Revenge wasn't fire, it was ice. Clean, controlled, precise. The kind that doesn't scream but burns in the knowledge that justice has been served. In the days that followed, they called and texted, demanding explanations. I ignored everything. I didn't need theatrics. Every attempt they made at intimidation fell on the foundation of the careful, deliberate planning Nathan had left. I finally understood that revenge isn't about satisfying anger, it's about reclaiming your life. It's about taking control when others have spent years trying to erase you. They believed I would be the weak one, the compliant daughter-in-law. But the truth was different. I had been preparing silently for the moment when they would have no power over me. And now, finally, they knew. Their whispers, their condescension, their smirks, gone. The house, the car, the inheritance, the security, they were no longer theirs to manipulate. The letters, the documents, the careful foresight of the man I loved, they had all been my armor, and for the first time, I didn't have to hide behind it. As I stood outside, watching their confusion and disbelief ripple through the room behind me, I smiled softly. Not out of triumph, but clarity. I had followed the path Nathan left. I had executed his plan flawlessly. I was no longer the shadow, the second choice, the powerless observer. I had become the person they underestimated. I had become the one in control. The last wife. The one left standing. Revenge is quiet. Revenge is patient. Revenge is precise. And this was perfection.